watch itself has come from itself. How can we guess that? So we have got our dignitaries and our chief guest. So we would like to stand.
Sangachadvam Sambadadvam Sambho Mana Sejanatam Sangachadvam Sambadadvam Sambho Mana.
The story starts from 45 years ago. A small boy studying in the village of South India in 5th standard, and his teacher asking, "What do you want to become in life?" When we were small, we were also asked, right, the same question. We said astronaut, doctor, etc. But this boy raised his hand like a straight rod, and he said, "I want to become a preacher of the message of the Bhagavad Gita." Right? And just when with so much motivation, anyone could say that from the birth itself, this boy had got transcendental qualities. His father instructed him very mildly that, "Dear son, if you want to preach this message, this whole world will take you more seriously if you get a very nice college degree, an IIT." So this boy, after studying, after graduating, he became the gold medalist from IIT Bombay, MTech. Not only that, he was recommended, he got letters of intent from various colleges of foreign, from various foreign colleges to do postdoc. But he chose that he will remain in India and learn about the students and youth of India. He worked and excelled in 3 companies, CECRI, Thermax, Mather, and Platt. But what to say of those who have taken birth to do extraordinary activities? They cannot be stopped by any obstacle. So then this person came out and he saw the life of youths when he was in IIT. He saw that how the youth is suffering from different kind of mental problems, addiction, procrastination, distraction. And as a student of Bhagavad Gita himself, and with a missionary spirit, he joined full time in a great organization, ISKCON, to spread this message of Bhagavad Gita to the whole youth, not only in Mumbai, not only in India, but to the whole world. Going further from there, he established a organization, Voice, Vedic Oasis, and innovation, culture, and education. Oasis, do you know what Oasis means? In this deserted place where the youths are frustrated, and every day we are hearing of different suicides and all, this is a center where youths can come. This is a place like a lotus in mud, which is remaining in play among all these disturbances, but growing like a blossoming like a beautiful lotus. And Prabhuji became an inspiration for transformation of millions of youths from there. Not only limiting to youths, and going further to transcend, to take the families and the congregation in the modes of transcendence. Prabhuji actually established 2 great temples, and he is currently the president of ISKCON Temple Pune and ISKCON Temple Hyderabad. These are not just temples, but these are education centers. If you ever visit, then these are universities where the Vedic education, just like old days, is even practiced till now. Not just limiting to India, Prabhuji travels now for 3 months every year to foreign nations, and then preaches this message of Bhagavad Gita in different colleges everywhere where we can only dream of. Just imagine that a person with such a missionary spirit, what can he not do? In just so less time, Prabhuji has transformed millions of IITians. So many people have actually stopped being deviated from these distractions in their lives. You know, we need Prabhuji. We need a spiritualist mentor like Prabhuji. He's a youth counselor, just like army people or Air Force guys. Just by hearing the sound of an airplane, they can guess that which is the model going through. Just like a doctor, just by hearing the sound, he can say that what type of throat problem he has. So Prabhuji is a youth mentor from last 30 years, and just by your talk, just by your walk, he can tell what problem a youth is going from. So if we all youths are denizens of this place, then Prabhuji is the pot of nectar for us. So please, everyone, make sure that not a minute of this talk is wasted. We need Prabhuji because today's talk is on willpower. And willpower cannot be measured in watt. Willpower cannot be measured in kilowatt or diopter or anything. Willpower cannot be increased by any kind of thermodynamic efficient process that we all have learned, right? Will is a skill that even Dronacharya could not teach Arjun. Arjun had to depend on Krishna to understand, to access this willpower. And we have Prabhuji as an example for us, a direct representative of Krishna teaching us. Just imagine after going out from IIT, where will you all go? You will all go for big, big corporates. There is not a single corporate that I can think of. Amazon, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, Infosys, Cognizant, Persistent. Every year they are waiting for Prabhuji to give a seminar. Where else will you go? Harvard, MIT for MTech, Harvard, MIT, Stanford University, everywhere they invite Prabhuji so that they can actually hear and get enlightened on the science of mental peace and Bhagavad Gita. Where else? IAS, IPS. There is not a single government agency which has not taken mentorship from Prabhuji. So today, better late than never, but somehow we have got Prabhuji in our association. It is said that Chanakya Pandit said, Shaila Shaila hi manikyam muktikam na gaje gaje sadhavo nahi sarvatra chandanam na vane vane. Just like from every stone you cannot find a money or you cannot find a diamond. From every elephant, you cannot find an elephant with a moti, the king elephant. In every forest, you cannot find the trees of sandalwood. Similarly, it is very rare to find a pure practitioner of Bhagavad Gita in front of us, a sadhu. So today, we are all blessed, and let us all celebrate our fortune with a big round of applause to hear from His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all of you for this evening session today on the topic of building our willpower to excel. Put yourself in the shoes of Lord Krishna. You know, there were crowds of warriors assembled in the battle, and the CEO of the battle was Arjuna on the Pandava side. And he collapses with his bow to the ground, weeping tears, and says that I'm not going to fight the battle. If you were in Lord Krishna's position, what would you have done? Think for a moment about it. I was thinking if I were there, what I would have done. I would have told Arjuna, okay Arjuna, I would pat him on his back and say, please go and relax. I think you are too tense. And kindly give your bow and arrow to me and I will do the needful. That's what I would have done, because he is weeping, he's putting the bow down, and he is not going to fight. He has lost his morale and motivation. Then maybe I will have to take the whole thing on myself, because I want to see dharma established. But that's not what Lord Krishna did. Just imagine what was the depth of Krishna's willpower. He asked Arjuna, why are you crying? Tell me the reasons. For the first one full chapter of the Gita, Krishna did not speak a single word. He just listened. Listened and listened and listened. In the second chapter, 7th verse of Gita, you will see, even after giving all the 5 different reasons why he wouldn't fight, Arjuna broke to tears again and he said, I do not know, Krishna, whether I should fight this battle or not fight this battle. Whether I should be killed by my enemies or I should defeat them. I am confused about my duty. Because when I see from Dharma point of view, I feel I should fight. When I see from the relatives' point of view, I feel I shouldn't fight. Now, I am completely clouded in my understanding. I am bewildered, confused, indecisive. Now you become my guru and you instruct me, he said. And then Krishna began to speak. So you will see, Lord Krishna did not give any advice until he was hired. He was very patiently listening. Just like we all are given 2 ears and 1 mouth to speak. So he listened well and then he spoke. So, at the end of the Gita, 18th chapter, you see what Arjuna says. Nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadan mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. My dear Lord Krishna, Nashto moha. Now all my illusion is gone now. Smritir labdha. Now I have developed my confidence now. My knowledge has become regained now. Sthitaha asmi. I am fixed up now in my resolve to fight this dharma yuddha. Karishye vachanam tava. Here is my bow and arrow. I am ready now. You order me and I am going to fight. Just see. Crying Arjuna became confident Arjuna. Weeping Arjuna became bold Arjuna now. Such a heart transformation came about by Lord Krishna's sermon of the Bhagavad Gita. So, that type of willpower was wanted of Arjuna, which he hadn't exhibited in the beginning. Subsequently, you see at the end of the Gita, Arjuna becoming spirited. I am sure all of you students of IIT Dhanbad here, in your studentship in this university, there may be many obstacles for you, many temptations, many distractions. What do we mean by willpower? Willpower means even in the face of distractions and obstacles and temptations, you are resolved to do your duty. You are focused on academics. You are focused on achieving the goal of your project or your course. You wish to see it happen. At the same time, I am sure in the modern day society is surrounded by innumerable distractions, which probably were not there in my college days. When I was going to college, at the time even television was not there. Television was just coming up during my college days, black and white. Slowly then we had color TV. We never had a mobile, we only had landline. And then mobile started coming slowly. We used to have audio tapes. Then slowly the CD players came. Then the flash players came. So you are living in current times, Gen Zs. In this generation, you will find there is a heavy social media distraction in the midst of which you are living. So I think this topic, you will find it very valuable. These are the things I am going to touch today. You see, with the introduction we begin, and then what makes us weak-willed? What makes us strong-willed? Which means what causes weakness or holes in our willpower? And what makes you a person with a strong willpower? And in case we are weak, how do we go from weak to strong? And then we are having the topic willpower to excel. What do you really mean by excel? Excellence. And then we have some really practical tips for you to apply, okay? So, think of the last time you intended to start studying at 9 o'clock. Your plan was to study from 9 to 1. But even you found yourself till 9:30, you have been scrolling, and then it's going on still. You don't know. Your fingers are not ready to stop scrolling. This is the point. The gap between your intention and your action, that's where the willpower lives. Your intention is to study. At the same time, your fingers are scrolling. How are you going to be done with that smartphone and throw it away and get into your studies? So here some very vital points about willpower is given here. You see, learning to manage our compulsions and pressures. Some pressures come for us from within. Some pressures come from peers. Say a peer is calling you to a movie today evening, but then tomorrow morning you have examination. So you are feeling temptation. All my friends are going for a movie and I also wish to go, but I have not studied yet. So you feel pressure from peers. Or you feel pressure from inside your mind. Generally, students keep the difficult subject aside. They do the easy subjects first. But then the difficult subject becomes a big burden at the end of the year. So there is a pressure from within, pressure from without. At that time, if you can regulate your emotions, direct your attention towards your ultimate goal, long-term goal, and if you're able to override the short-term distractions, then you have willpower. You see, this is the willpower. The inner strength to control the impulses, stay focused, and pursue long-term goals, despite distractions and temptations. So, here a friend is pulling his friend for a movie, but he has to say no to him. It's difficult for him. Because friend also is pulling and he also wants to go. At the same time, his duty is calling him. So, I've given 3 examples here, you see. It makes it very easy for you. The student is sitting and studying seriously, you see, with the lamp. When your friends are all going for a movie, you are sitting in the room and studying. That's the example I gave you just now. Similarly, waking up on a chill morning, chill cold winter in December, getting up early in the morning and going for a jogging to keep yourself healthy may not be a very pleasant thing to do, but it is good for you to do. Similarly, here in the college lab, here is a student who is sticking with a complex coding problem until he found the bug. He is not going to give up. Like we say, when going gets tough, the tough get going. He is persisting until he finds the bug. So these are all examples of willpower among students. So willpower is the bridge between what you want to do and what you have. So we all have that potential of willpower within us, and it's up to us whether we want to awaken that willpower or keep it dormant, or get dragged by the external forces. I heard a story. Once upon a time, a monkey, told all his friends that tomorrow I am going to do upavas. Upavas means fasting. I'm going to fast from even water. I won't take anything tomorrow. Then all the monkeys said, "Oh, you are so great. Amongst us, none of us can do this. You are a great soul." But then there was one naughty monkey. He came to him and said, "You see, if you are going to fast tomorrow, the day after, you will be so weak, you will not be able to pluck even a fruit from the tree, and you may die. It's very risky." Then this monkey asked him what I should do. He said, "At least pluck the fruits and keep it with you." So he plucked many fruits and kept it with him. Then again the monkey came and said, "You will be so weak day after that you won't be able to bite the fruits also. Better you bite and keep them." So he bit them and cut it into pieces and kept it ready for eating. Then again he came and said, "Probably you may be so weak that you may not be able to even lift the fruits." So then what I should do, he said, "Better take the fruits and keep here and up and down, so that as soon as your fasting is over, you can eat it." Guess what must have happened? When he kept the fruit in the top and bottom on the next day, fasting day, he couldn't fast anymore. So this is a story of the monkey with a weak will. So if you are going to be like this, a monkey with a weak will, you will see that most of your important work will not be done. Well, you all know very well. Children like to play, but parents want them to study. Students want to watch TV for 6 hours or Netflix. You want to watch for hours, binge watching. You want to go on watching several movies. But you know very well that at the end of the year, you will suffer. Similarly, you will find students want to eat junk food. It's very tasty, crispy, very nice for the tongue. But then, if It is said if you eat waste, it will show up in the waste, it is said. The body grows in all four directions and our efficiency reduces, isn't it? So, in this way, you will see that there are many things our mind wants to enjoy, but our intelligence goes by reason. It says it's not good for you. Like here, you see the students are focusing. Focus requires, focus and concentration is required to learn any subject. You see. On the other hand, somebody is spending a lot of time watching, scrolling, and they lose concentration. Look at these children. For a teacher, you see. Like pouring oil from one bottle to another requires concentration. If you are not attentive, it's going to pour outside. Like welding also requires concentration, you see. This is Arjuna aiming at the eye of the wooden bird. He didn't see anything. He didn't see the trees. He didn't see the branches. He didn't see leaves. He only saw not even the bird. He saw the eye of the bird. And then he could hit exactly the target. So the concentration, focus, one-pointedness, all these things are, like here you see the lens, which is focusing at a focal point and burning a paper. So what is the connection? If anybody can have such a one-pointed focus, lot of work gets done. It's called as Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana. Lord Krishna talks about it in the Gita. He says, if your mind is multi-branched with multiple worries of the past and fears of the future, then you don't have the focus. And a lot of energy is lost in worrying about the past marks or past happenings and fears of the upcoming examination or something like that. So then you are not in the present. You are sitting with the book, but the pages are not going ahead. We are stuck somewhat, even if we are keeping awake whole night also. So that was about lack of focus, I was telling you. Here is another thing. Lack of focus also comes from external distractions. Eyes and ears get distracted. Till now, I was telling about the lack of focus due to worries of the past and fears of future. This is another thing. Distractions take us away. So here is an example of one boy, Rohan. You see, out of simple curiosity, in study breaks, he started scrolling. Eventually, it became addiction to see more and more. His emotions also got manipulated, you see. He developed jealousy for other friends who are getting more likes. His mind became restless. He wanted to seek attention of many. And you can see here, comparison. He was making comparison with his friends. Eventually, you find he's crying now, you see. And it became an escape way for him to forget about the difficult exams. Just keep scrolling and watching YouTube videos. Just forget the world. Now, having failed in the examination, is crying now. And this is not the situation of only Rohan. It's a situation of many students these days. So, many researchers have found out the dopamine hits leads to infinite scrolling and we get addicted to it, digital addiction. I have another session called as From Digital Slavery to Digital Mastery. So there we talk a lot about this even more. How in the modern times we are being dragged by multiple external distractors, and this one being one of the topmost ones. So I have just given some few solutions for you. If any of you feel that, how do you know you are addicted to social media? Early morning when you get up, immediately you go to the smartphone. That's one of the, one of the symptoms. So these are some simple things we can do. Screen time audit, digital boundaries, offline engagement can be increased, sports, volunteering and everything. So I've written a few things here. Another thing that makes us, develop certain habits is based on what kind of friendships you keep. You see here, bad association, good association. I've written a table here. Are your friends increasing your competitive mindset or comparing mindset? Like Duryodhana was always thinking, if Pandavas win, I lose. If they lose, I win. That kind of unhealthy comparisons, feeling insecurity, wasting time gossiping about others, creating anxiety. So these are things which make our mind very weak. And a weak mind will have a weak will also. Yeah. On the other hand, if you join a Gita study group, for example, you learn many things. Today you are going to learn many things. In the subsequent slides, you will see there are many valuable things which will come. So one of the very first things is the good association. So association when I say association, it means whatever books you read, whatever movies you watch, whatever music you hear, whatever friendships you keep. So all these things are going to amount to your positivity, development of inner strength, or it's going to drain your strength. Like certain books you read, they are going to produce fear in you. Like nowadays, you hear a lot of breaking news in the media, isn't it? They give you breaking news to break your head, but no solution to that. On the other hand, we need to read news which will be, something positive for us to increase our internal strength and energy. Similarly, the movies also. If you watch ghost movies, we are going to develop phobia, fear. If you're watching movies that increase your inner health, so that's why the choice of these things matters a lot. Now, in the next few slides, I'm showing about what makes our weak will, makes our willpower weak. See, this donkey, the story you read in the Panchtantra, once a donkey was asked to carry a load of salt. So the donkey, what he did, he went to a river and then stayed under the water and dissolved the salt, most of the salt, so that his weight would be lesser. He thought he is very smart. But the result was the washerman put a lot of cotton on his back and tied it. Again, the donkey applied the same technique of going underwater, but then the water was absorbed by the cotton and the whole thing became very heavy for him. So the donkey thought he is smart, but he was foolish actually. In the same manner, you will see that if we go for short-term pleasures, we suffer in the long run. You will see that. Like for example, those who don't study in the beginning of the year, they suffer later. But those who study in the beginning of the year, they find it very easy later. And it is true for everything. Like for example, the more later we go to bed at night, the more later we get up in the morning also. And the half day goes away in that. So the trap of postponement, procrastination, that was the first one. The second one, the poison of doubt and indecision made Arjuna become weak because he had no clear purpose. Why am I fighting the battle? He couldn't understand the purpose. Like in Pune, when we were building the temple, I saw 3 masons. One of the masons, he asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "I am just making a wall." Another mason said, "I am building a hall." The third mason said, "I am blessed in my life this time because I am building a temple of the Lord," he said. So he had a clear vision what he is doing. Similarly, you are studying here in IIT Dhanbad. Ask yourself, why am I studying? When I pass out, what do you want to do? Imagine a mediocre student says that I am studying here so that I get a job. I get a job so I make money. I make money so that I can eat, drink, and be merry. Or I just give some money to parents. Is that the goal of our life? Is that all? Or you have some much greater goal? So, when we talk about the purpose of life, we don't study the books to just to get over the course, but to understand and do something great for the world. Then when the purpose is known, it makes sense. See, corrosive effect of bad company. Chanakya said, when there are trials and challenges in life, it is good. But certain challenges and trials are weakening, he said. Like for example, if you unfortunately come across those who gossip and do rumor mongering, we waste a lot of time and we pollute our mind. Similarly, people who induce us to do bad habits like smoking, drinking, drugs, and everything. Similarly, we get stuck in some relationships and our focus on the study goes away. So these are all things which weaken our mind. Another thing is uncontrolled senses and desires. You see, desire is not wrong, but when the desire goes beyond a certain limit, like Duryodhana, you see, he wasn't ready to give even 5 villages to Pandavas. Just see how unreasonable he was. although the kingdom never belonged to him in the first place. So because of that, unbridled greed, he was destroyed. So I've given many examples here. See this turtle, which was carried carefully by the two swans with a stick. He heard some sound below, and he wanted to ask the two swans, why? What is the sound going on? Something like that. He asked. Immediately, his mouth opened and he fell down, and he died. So this talks about people who are chatterbox, who talk a lot, waste their energy, and they lose their willpower also. So I given many examples like this. There is another example. Second one is given about the monkey. Idle curiosity kills the cat, it is said. Like students come to a college, but then they do everything other than studies. They become preoccupied with so many things, curious about this, curious about that. So the monkey, which was curious about the wedge, one carpenter had cut a tree like this and kept his saw and gone. So the monkey pulled the saw and his tail got stuck in that. And he was caught also later on. So idle curiosity is no good. And Dhritarashtra, his attachment to Duryodhana made his will very weak. His weakness became wickedness. And wickedness is very toxic. So then one loses, it's like a termite eating a beam from inside. So with toxicity, nobody can blossom in life. That was Dhritarashtra. And Chanakya also says, those who are very much attached to pleasures, they become clouded by misjudgment. In Chanakya's time, there were Vishakanyas, and the kings who had weak character, they were easily killed by a kiss of a woman whose body was full of poison. So in this way, big kings who were having big army and everything, they were finished in one moment like that. So that means what makes a person weak? These are various reasons are given. Laziness and overintelligence. Chanakya says, Vidyarthi chet tyajet sukham chet tyajet vidyam, he says. If you want to be a successful student, forget about comfort, he says. If you are very much concerned about comfort, forget about studies, he's saying. So 8 things Chanakya is saying, which every student should know about. He says that these are varjayat. These 8 things are prohibited for students, he says. You want to know that? He says, Kamam krodam cha lobam cha swadu shringara kautuke adinidra atisevecha vidyarthi hyashtam varjayet, is saying. He's saying, when one is a student, one should not be hunting for the opposite sex. That's the first thing he says. And then he's saying, one should not excessively become angry with anybody. Because if you become angry, you lose friendships. And if you become angry, you invite enemies. And your focus on study will be gone, he says. Sometimes a group of students beat up another group of students. Such things happen. So don't become excessively angry. Then he says, if you are too greedy, you are going to make unhealthy comparison with your friends. Don't compare yourself with your friends, compare yourself with yourself. Compare your last year performance with current year performance. Don't compare yourself with friends. Third thing he says. Fourthly, he says, going to a beauty parlor for decorating oneself. Nowadays, there is men's beauty parlor also now. Like women had before. Now they have men also now. Don't waste too much time in the saloon, he says. Shringara. And Kautuke means going to stand in the busy streets of the city watching who is going, who is coming. Don't waste your time. And then he's saying, Atinidra means oversleep. Sleeping at 2 o'clock, getting up at 9 o'clock, again afternoon sleeping 4 more hours. This is something which makes you sleep 12 hours a day, practically. Instead, if one sleeps at 10 o'clock and gets up at 4 o'clock, then you have 18 hours at your disposal. 10 to 4 is ideal time according to Ayurveda to have a very healthy sleep. So, Atinidra, Atiseve means excessively watching TV or excessively playing games, like, stuck in various activities other than the duty. So he says these are all items, he says, which distract a student in his student days. And if one gives up these things, then one has a very good scope to have the willpower. And company of the weak-minded, one should not make friendship with foolish people. because foolish people can ruin our life. There was a king who made friendship with a monkey. And he told the monkey, I'm going to sleep now in the afternoon. If anybody comes, don't entertain them. He said. Monkey said, okay. And then a mosquito was moving around in the room. The monkey looked around and took the sword of the king and chased after the mosquito all around the room. At last, the mosquito went here and there, everyone went and sat in the nose of the king. And the monkey lifted the sword. You can imagine what must have happened. So one should not make friendship with fools. Because if we make friendship with fools, they will ruin our time, ruin our good life, he says. So, in this way, there are various things mentioned here, which actually make our personality a weak personality. Now let us hear about how do you become strong in our willpower. Look at Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj's consciousness was, everything belongs to the Lord. Duryodhana is my brother. Kingship or forest life. Whatever, we will do what Lord wills. We will share the kingdom and enjoy. Why to fight like dogs for a piece of meat? That was his consciousness. It's called as abundance mentality. Abundance mentality means you have a very big heart. You think there are unlimited opportunities in this world. But scarcity mentality means one is very, very mean-minded, and one is always, one cannot sleep peacefully. One thinks that if he succeeds, I am failure. Like one mother was asking her son, Beta, what happened to your mathematics marks? Boy said, Mama, the neighborhood boy, he also failed, he said. Mom said, I didn't ask about him, I asked about you. So, this is called as zero-sum game. They always think, if I win, my friend loses. So that was Duryodhana. Whereas here you can see Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, what makes you a person with a strong will? The first thing is alignment with dharma. You all must have heard the saying, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharmo rakshati rakshataha. Which means if you protect dharma, then dharma protects you, it is said. Those who walk by dharma, they are very confident. You will never fizzle because you are confident that you're walking the right path. So one will have that endurance while walking. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj is himself called as the Dharmaraj. Because there is a universal will of the Lord. Are you aligned with that will? Then it is very easy for you. Let me tell you a simple example. There were two bakery shops in the same lane. One was run by one of our devotees. He was having a bakery shop. At the end of the lane, there was another fellow, some other man having a bakery shop. So this devotee was making something like, 2 lakh rupees per month profits he was making. Whereas that fellow was making 10 lakhs per month. So many people came and asked this devotee, you are just making 2-3 lakhs and he's making 8-10 lakhs. You are losing out. What's the reason? Then this devotee found out whenever there was fungus coming up in the bread, he would just throw it away. He would not sell it. Whereas the other person, he would just brush it and sell it. He would think, why to lose the profits? For him, money was everything. But then within 3 months of the shop opening, some people got food poisoning in the other shop. Some of them, 1 or 2 people died also. Immediately the shop was sealed, police people came, and everybody started calling that shop as a fungus shop, fungus shop, fungus shop. And the shop never opened. And even that fellow was put behind the bars. So guess what? All the customers who were going to that shop started coming to this shop. This fellow was making 2-3 lakhs before. Now he started making 7-8 lakhs now. Why am I telling you? Shortcuts in this world bring us quick money. It looks like success. But such success never stays for a long time. Whereas the one who walked the path of character, aligned with the universal law, considering the well-being of all the people, he not only succeeded now, he succeeded for a long, long time. You can see that. So therefore, like for example, some of your friends may say that, hey, everybody is copying, you also copy. So we can take shortcuts in life, but we are not going to grow in life. Second is the discipline. The tapasya builds inner strength. Training the mind like a bow through control and practice. Actually, tapasya means a voluntary acceptance of restraint for long-term good. For example, when you're doing exercises, yoga, some amount of stretch you feel, that is a very healthy stretch. Like when you do jogging, when you do yoga, when you do pranayam, when you do activities, it looks like a stretch, but that stretch is ultimately for health of the body. Similarly, you can stretch the mental muscles and develop yourself. Similarly, the spiritual muscles you can develop yourself by meditation, by mantra meditation. Initially, it is difficult to get that concentration, but once you develop that concentration, the tapasya, it gives you enormous patience, tolerance, one-pointed concentration, everything it gives. Yeah, faith in higher ideals. Here is a story. Once upon a time, a group of doves, they got stuck in a net, and the hunter was coming to pick them up and roast them in the fire and eat them. Anyway, all of them are talking among themselves. Anyway, we are going to lose our lives. Why not give one last try together? And they all decided to flap their wings together. Guess what? They flapped their wings, and the net, which was nailed down to the ground, the nails took off. And all the birds flew up in the sky while the hunter was shouting at them. He couldn't get them. They all went to a faraway place and took help of a rat and got the net cut, and they were saved. The moral of the story is unity is strength, isn't it? So you find that. So one of the higher principles is, we call it as a conformity unity principle. Conformity with Lord and unity with all. If you follow these two laws, your mind will be very peaceful. And your mind has very least amount of tensions. Often we find while working with other living beings, we get clashes. And that clashes causes irritation in the mind, stress in the mind, sometimes revengeful thoughts, anger, and things like that. But unity with all and conformity with Lord. That's a. Yeah, Arjuna had many temptations come on his way, like Urvashi. Yeah, when he went to heaven, Urvashi was dancing, and Indra told Urvashi, when you were dancing, Arjuna was watching you. I think he's interested in you. Go and meet him. So in the evening time, when she went to meet Arjuna, Arjuna said, yeah, it's true that I was watching at you. Why? Because in my lineage, there was a king called Pururava, and you had married him. So I saw you as a great grandmother, he said. And she said, what? I look like a grandmother? I am an Apsara. I always look ever youthful and ever young. She said. And then she said, but I thought you are interested in me. He said, I'm not interested in you to enjoy with you. I see you as a great grandmother. He said. So she became angry on Arjuna for speaking like that. And then she cursed him to become eunuch. And then that came as a blessing in disguise, because it was the 13th year of the Pandavas. So Arjuna became Brihanalla, dance teacher, as a eunuch for 1 year. But the point is, even though she offered the temptation, he had that willpower to say no. In this way, by resisting temptation, you increase your willpower. There is Jay Shetty who wrote the book Think Like a Monk. He says one example. When he was a monk in our ISKCON London ashram, one day they kept cone ice cream in front of all the devotees. And they were all about to pounce on it and eat it. But the president told them, please wait. Please all of you wait for 5 minutes and then you can take it. So everybody was salivating in the tongue, but they waited. So he said, when you learn to wait and not succumb to the temptation, your willpower increases by that. So that's why whenever we eat food, we don't pounce on the food immediately. We keep the food and we offer a prayer, almost 3-4 minutes prayer. You may look at the food, but you offer prayer to Lord, thank Him, and only then we eat. Every day, every time you eat one plate of food, you are increasing your willpower because you are resisting your temptation to pounce and eat. Another thing is consistency. The rabbit and tortoise story, which you all know very well. The rabbit was making a hasty dash in the beginning to reach the goal, but he became overconfident midway and he went to sleep. While the tortoise never stopped, which goes to teach a very important lesson. Persistently, consistently, bit by bit, one who is making efforts, they succeed eventually. So our willpower cannot be developed overnight. It has to be developed by consistent effort. Yeah, company of the wise people. Arjuna, although he was depressed in the beginning of the battle, he had a very good companion, which is Krishna. One mentor is worth the entire army, it is said. If I ask you, would you like to have 1 lion or 1,000 sheep? What would you have? Arjuna had Krishna like 1 lion. 1 lion roars, 1,000 sheep will run away. So he had a very good companion to guide him. Here is another story of a sparrow who was determined. See, your willpower increases if you make a determined effort. One time in my college days, we all went to Tirupati, and five of us, so we were planning to climb up the hill. Huh? If any of you have been in Tirupati. Huh? So one boy was little obese, fat boy. Everybody teased him and said, "Hey, you won't be able to climb up. You won't be able to come. You're going to take a lift." We said, "No, no, no. Wait and watch. Today I will do it." So we were all climbing up. So one car came by and they said, "We have our back seat empty. Anybody would like to come?" And this boy was the one to immediately board the car. Huh? And then everybody laughed. And when we all came back, he was telling, "See, I wasn't planning to board the car, but they invited me. So what can I do? That's why I boarded," he said. So his willpower was finished midway. So, but if anybody makes a sankalpa, vow, and sticks to the sankalpa, then they increase their willpower also. Huh? Like, for example, in our Sanatan Dharma, we have fasting days. Huh? Not only in Sanatan Dharma, even amongst Christians, amongst Muslims, everybody has fasting days. Huh? And there are fasting days and feasting days also. Huh? Those who keep that fast, the purpose of keeping fast is that day you don't waste your time cooking, going to kitchen. Instead, you spend time with the Lord, no? In prayer, in chanting, in studying the sacred texts. You spend more time sanctifying yourself. Instead of giving attention to just the filling of the belly, we give attention to growing our willpower, growing our consciousness. So in this way, these things increase our determination. So there was a sparrow which lost her eggs, to the ocean. And the ocean was not giving back the eggs. The sparrow repeatedly pleaded, "Please give my eggs back." The ocean wasn't giving. So then the sparrow was determined with her willpower. She said, "I'm going to dry you up." So she would take in a small beaks little water and pour it at a faraway distance and come back again and again. Do you think how ridiculous it is to think that you can empty the ocean? Huh? But the sparrow was doing it little by little. Seeing that, Garuda took pity. So Garuda came down and told the sparrow, "Don't worry." And Garuda ordered the ocean, "Give back the eggs to the sparrow." So immediately the ocean gave back the eggs. So the story has a very deep moral. The moral of the story is that when you make a consistent, persistent effort at your own level, the higher powers will come to help you. Because the Lord says, if you make effort, then I give further support to you. Like in any business you do, you should be ready to commit first, correct? No? When you commit, then you get many more supports you get like that. Like Arjuna committed to fighting the battle. Immediately, the entire cosmic forces got aligned with him. Lord Shiva gave him Pashupatastra. Agni Dev gave him a chariot. Indra gave horses. Hanuman sat on the flag and gave out a war cry. All the cosmic forces are aligned with Arjuna because Arjuna aligned with Lord's will. So you align with Lord's will and everything else aligns with you. And that's how your initial small determined effort is going to increase your willpower gradually. Yeah, there is one interesting story I heard recently. One Gurukul boy was told by the teacher that you better go home. You are not very serious in study. So he left the Gurukul. While going on the way, he saw one lady was drawing water from a well, from the ground level. There were all stones all around. And when she was pulling the rope was, going over the stone and making an impression on the stone. And the boy was surprised. How is it? That rope is soft, stone is hard, but it is making impression on the stone. Very surprised. And then he understood one thing. How is it able to make that impression? Because repeatedly rope is going. So practice makes a man perfect. If you repeatedly do something, you become expert. So he was very inspired by that idea. So he went back to his Gurukula and told the teacher, "Sir, give me one last chance. I didn't practice enough before. Now I will practice," he said. He was given a second chance. Guess what happened? He went on to become Kalidas, a very great poet who wrote Kumara Sambhava and other things and all. That means by repeated practice over a period of time, by the discipline, one increases willpower also. So there are so many things you can do in your life. You see, there are 8 items I have given. Each of these items you pay little attention. And here, there are 4 Sanskrit words I have given. Dhyaya, that's the first one. And the second one, Samyam. And then the third one, I think Viveka is the fourth one, I think. Okay, I'll show you each of it. These 4 words are most vital in this entire slideshow. First is clarity of purpose. Why am I here? Like here you see, when your goal is connected to a deeper purpose, I am learning in IIT Dhanbad for solving a real world problem, not just to get a grade. Then your willpower is fueled by meaning. If you have something great to do, then it's fueled with meaning. Without that goal, like for example, today you're going to sleep at night. What are you going to do tomorrow morning when you get up? If you say, I'm going to I get up in the morning and brush my teeth and take my breakfast. That's the purpose. Do you think you'll get up in the morning? You have no reason to get up. But when you have something great to do in the morning, then while going to sleep at night, you'll be like when you have to catch a flight in the morning at 3 o'clock. Even if you sleep at 12, you'll get up because you have a purpose. Purpose is the first thing. Second thing is samyam, means control of the senses, which comes by self-discipline. You see here, there's a word used in the Bhagavad Gita called Sthita Prajna. This personality, in success and failure, is equipoised. In honor and dishonor, is equipoised. Lord Krishna talks about it in 56th verse of 2nd chapter, 2.56. See, meditation, and I've shown this. See, sometimes you get good news, sometimes bad news, sometimes healthy, sometimes sick, sometimes A grade, sometimes F grade, sometimes business is skyrocketing or nosediving. Sometimes people respect you, sometimes someone insults you. Sometimes life is smooth sailing like this. Sometimes the life is challenging. So all of us are tossed between the two. But Arjuna was also tossed in that same manner in the beginning of the battle. Lord Krishna gave this great teaching. He says that do whatever is within your reach, Arjun. Do your best. Focus your eyes on that. Do not worry about what is not in your hands. See, karmanyeva adhikaraste means that is a circle of influence. Mahaphaleshu kadachana means that is called circle of concern. Like all of your students, say you can study for the exam, you can take help from your friends, you can do some, take some extra support. But then, are you going to design the paper, question paper? Are you going to correct the test paper? Are you going to award the marks? These are things not in your hands. Whatever things are in your hands, focus on that, he said. Therefore, Lord Krishna taught him, if you are going to obsess over results, your performance will be affected. Don't obsess over the results. Like, look at this boy. He's saying when good results comes, you say, so it's all God's mercy. Test paper was good. It came out well. In case he failed, what he thinks? Oh, I learned my mistakes now. I will do better in the next attempt. So he's balanced in mind. Here is an example of balanced person. And look at this fellow. Oh, I got first rank by my own brain. See how smart am I? He is praising himself, boasting. And then when he fails, look at him. Oh, how will I face my friends and family? I failed in the exams. Most students are like this. So if you follow the Gita principle, you will be like this. This is Gita principle. Because, I didn't create my brain. God gave me the brain. I didn't create my eyes, hands, legs and everything. God gave me this body. I didn't create all the elements of this world. 120 elements in the Mendeleev's periodic table. God created it. So I am just actually using all these things. I'm a custodian. So in that mode, one will be able to focus on one's duty and not bother about the results. Another first quality I told you is dhyaya, or the purpose. Second quality I told you is, what is second quality? Samyam, self-control, self-management. Third one is dhairya, patience. See, you all know this story. Moral of this punch of the story is, buddhir yasya balantasya. Whoever has buddhi, even if you are a small creature, you have real strength. Not the other fellow with a bigger body. See, lion had a bigger body, but rabbit had a smaller body. But the rabbit told him, sir, I promised you to come at 1 o'clock. But on the way, there was another lion, which actually told me that he is the king of the jungle. And this lion became angry. He said, take me to that lion. And then he brought him to this well and showed him. So when he looked into the well, the foolish lion jumped into the well to fight with the other lion, and that was the end of the line. And the rabbit was saved. The whole idea is what? Huh? The rabbit, he had that patience to deal with a very terrible situation in his life. He didn't panic. He didn't faint. He didn't cry while facing the lion. He patiently thought deeply what I should do in order to save my life. So if you have patience and tolerance, then that helps you to think well. And Viveka is the fourth one, discernment. Which means, should I run after the short-term temptations, or should I focus my eyes on the long-term goal? So we all have this challenge always in our lives. So see here, he's going for short-term. He's copying, he's comparing, unnecessarily becoming extremely angry. When one becomes angry like this, he loses whatever distance, 5 miles distance, if you run, what energy you lose, that much you lose. And he is boasting. So these are a lot of energy losing emotions. One focuses on short-term behavior. One doesn't think about long-term. If one is angry like this, he loses relationships, friendships. If one is boasting about oneself and creating inferiority complex for others, one is distancing friends also. One is making unhealthy comparison. One is burning in the heart. One is not peaceful. It makes our heart toxic. And copying, one can be debarred. So I have given here a table, impure quality of the mind and what students do and what Gita principle teaches us. You see, each of these qualities, greed can be stopped by contentment. Envy, jealousy can be we can become free from that by equality of vision. Anger by self-control. Attachment by detachment. Each of this. I've given the shloka numbers also. So think about this. If you work on this, it's going to make a very big difference in our life. Because the positive qualities I've given on the right side, that's what is samyam. When you do that samyam, self-management principle, if you learn it, you will see it will make a very big impact. Your mind is going to be calm, cool, collected, like a swab of cotton. It will be light if you practice these good qualities. And then with such a mindset, it's easy to build your willpower. Right now, everybody faces battle for our mind, you see. Like, see, right now, mind is like a mad elephant, having all these bad qualities, impure qualities. But if mind is trained, it can become like this good elephant. You see, good elephant is giving blessings. It is drawing another elephant. It is carrying the Lord on the back. So ask yourself, do you want your mind to be like a good elephant or a mad elephant? So mind can be trained by mantra. Man means mind, tra means freedom. Mantra means that which frees the mind from this madness. So in the Katha Upanishad, there is a very beautiful analogy given here. The 5 horses are compared to our 5 senses, and the ropes are compared to the mind, driver to the intelligence. And the soul is the passenger. So if you really want to build your willpower, the intelligence has to be strengthened. Let me give you an example. It will make it easy to appreciate this point. In America, there was a boy who was driving his bike and his cap flew off. So he stopped the bike and chased after the cap while a lot of cars were all going like this, back and forth, fastly. So, and he was looking at the cap and running towards the cap. What is the danger in that? Think about it. Ask yourself, will you look at the cap? I think director has come. Please welcome him for taking out his time. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So I asked all of you a question. When this boy's cap flew off, he was running behind the cap in a busy traffic road. So should you look at the cap or look at the cars going on either side? Yeah? Yes? You're not sure? Should you look at the traffic or should you look at the cap? Somebody is saying cap. Traffic is saying, okay. How many of you say you should look at the cars? Okay, how many of you say you should chase after the cap? There's nobody? Okay, sure. Because if he chases after the cab, he may lose his life. Huh. But if he looks at the cars which are going fast, then even if the cab gets smashed, he can buy a new cab, isn't it? Life is more important. So our intelligence goes by reasoning, whereas mind goes by instinct. Huh? So mind instinctively tells you, I run behind the cab, get the cab. Huh? So in the same manner, as a student, sometimes the short-term pleasures are very appealing to the mind. Mind says, like I was telling about binge watching. Huh? Nowadays, Netflix movies are so sharp and very attractive. One doesn't know how many 6 hours, 8 hours have passed away. Huh? Time goes like anything. Similarly, partying with friends, going out here and there, hanging around, we spend a lot of time. And that's how we will see that short-term pleasures steal our time. And then the long-term goals are often missed out. So this Kathopanishad says that intelligence is the driver. Strengthen the driver by, then willpower increases, and then the mind and senses can be controlled. Then the soul is peaceful. So here, Arjuna was given a clear purpose by Krishna. Krishna didn't tell him to just fight. He told him the powerful purpose, dharma, you see. And then Arjuna's purpose became clear, and then Arjuna was ready to fight. So I was telling you about this purpose before. So I am coming to the last step now. 4 steps to move from weak will to strong will. I discussed about what is willpower. Then I discussed about what is weak will. Why do we get weak willpower? Then I told you about how do we get strong willpower. Now we are coming to the final part now. How do we go from, in case I have a weak will in doing something, how do I develop a strong willpower? You see, the first thing is self-awareness. Find out what are some of the things you feel make you weak. Like, are you procrastinating? What are the triggers? Yeah. Like one boy was telling me, every day afternoon when I come from the college for lunch, I sleep 3 hours. This fast moving fan, such a nasty fan, it ruins my afternoon. I said, but who put on the fan? He thought and said, I only put on. I said, then why did you put on? You put on the fan and you're sleeping under the fan. So all of you ask yourself, what are some of the things you wish to change in your life? First you write down. Second is, shrink the change, which means don't try to modify that behavior altogether immediately. For example, any of you want to exercise daily, you are not exercising. What you should do? Just put on your running shoes and just walk for 2 minutes and come back. Start in a very small way. And the next day, instead of 2 minutes, make it 5 minutes. Like that you can do. Similarly, want to study more? At least open the book and read a page or two. Begin with that, in case you are not touching at all. So, in this way, you will see the goal is to make our starting ridiculously easy so that you won't get frightened that I have to change. So, the first one is become aware. Become aware of your own personality makeup. What is your mind made up of? Find out. Some people's minds are postponing. Some people's minds are lazy to sleep too much. Some people's minds tell them to eat too much. Some people's minds want too much entertainment and no study. Some people have a tendency to become quarrelsome, belligerent in attitude. Some people are struggling with unhealthy comparison. I told you many things. So identify, that's the first thing. Self-awareness. Second thing is shrink the change by making a small change. The third thing, engineer your environment. For example, your smartphone is a trouble. Put the smartphone away. See, remove the temptations. Use website blockers during study time. What I do generally in my computer, I reply like 50, 60 emails every day. So emails keep popping up. They keep coming. Similarly, I have WhatsApp in my computer also. That keeps popping up. So what I do, whenever I want to do some substantial work, I'm writing a book now currently. So I cut off the Wi-Fi. I don't connect because no pop-ups will come. 3 hours I will do my work. Then I will put on the Wi-Fi. And then another half an hour, 1 hour, I will quickly respond to many things. Again, cut the Wi-Fi again. Then I can again do another 3 hours of work. So similarly, we have parental control also for whatever devices we use. Seek good company. Spend more time with peers who inspire you. to lead a life of principles. Whichever principle you all want to follow, those who are already following, make friendships with them. And start small. Don't try to study 10 hours on day one. It's not possible. Start with 2 hours of deep focused work and build from there, small, small ways. And make your desired actions easier and your undesired actions harder. I give 2 examples here. If your phone is a distraction, put it in another room when you're studying. If you want to eat healthy food, keep fruits on your desk, not the chips. That means those things which you want to avoid, keep them far away. Those things which you need to cultivate, that you keep in front of you. Is it clear, this one? No. So very simple formula. Like you see, she's eating for taste. She's eating for health. You see? So then junk food don't keep in front of you. You'll be tempted. Like there was a test conducted by Stanford University. They had this marshmallow test. They kept marshmallow on a plate and told all the children, in 20 minutes, if you can resist the temptation, you will get one more marshmallow. So those children were staring at it. They couldn't resist themselves. After 10 minutes, they ate it. And those children who closed their eyes and they were singing a song, or those children who walked back and forth, they were pacing, they could very easily resist it. That means we all need to be told to not stop. Instead of that, we have to be told that you should have an alternative engagement. So instead of video games playing or video watching, you go and play some outdoor games, be more healthy. Instead of eating too much because mind is pushing you to eat junk food too much, do meditation where you get the self-control of the mind and you can say no to the wrong things, yes to the right things. So in this way, those things which are bad items for you, keep them far away, it is said. That which you want to do properly, whether it's healthier for you, keep it easy access. This is engineering your environment. Is it clear? Engineering your environment. And fourth one is reframe your mindset. Instead of saying, oh, I have to study for this data structures exam. Instead of saying like that, I choose to master this subject. Why? Because it's a foundation for building amazing software. So have a healthy mindset like this. So here I have given you 5 summary points here. Start small, be aware, and consistently follow the routine, and reflect and learn from your failures. Like our Dr. Kalam, what he said about fail? Fail means he said first attempt in learning, he said. FAIL. So learn from your failures and spiritually be grounded by meditation, prayer and everything. And also the ojas or energy develops if you can conserve your energy. For example, nowadays because of free mixing, many students don't follow the principle of celibacy. So you do not even know, you lose a lot of dharana shakti, ability to hold, vichar shakti, ability to reflect and think. Vichara shakti, viveka buddhi, dharana shakti, all these things are drained out if one is not going to follow the principle of celibacy. There is a time for marriage. At the right age, you can marry and have a family. But if you're going to drain your energy, the celibate energy, that is another reason for losing our sharpness and focus and willpower. On the other hand, men and women, both, those who follow the principle of continence, celibacy, they will be able to think well. They'll be able to hold on, say no to those things that are not good for them. They'll be able to say. And they also develop courage, confidence, one-pointed focus, everything they develop. So 3 solutions I'm going to give you, very simple solutions. A, B, C. A means association 1 hour a week. B is Bhagavad Gita 1 page a day. And C, chanting 1 round a day, which is 108 times. So I'll tell you what it is. Each of this I will tell you. See, association that uplifts and awards you wisdom, guidance, focus and peace. I'm going to America every year, 3 months. There is so much overwhelming crowd that attends the programs. Our weekly programs, we get like 80 to 100 students attending. Most of them are Americans. They are so enthusiastic because we find that students are these days faced with enormous inner and outer challenges. The world is in a state of turmoil. There are wars going on all around. And besides that, the job layoffs is creating another type of tension. And for those who are studying in the colleges, even the placement in good jobs is another tension. And the AI is going on developing more and more. It is creating fear in the students that if AI follows all the jobs, then what will we be doing? Of course, there are AI-related jobs are coming up. So, in such a situation, we need an association that teaches us that the most important truth that Lord Krishna presented in the Gita is you, the spirit, is different from the body. You are not the body. Body that you see in the mirror is not the real you. That is changing from childhood. Like you will see, for example, I just show you. Wait, it's not coming yet. It's coming. Now it's coming. It's coming now. How this body changes, you can see that. She was a little child, then she became a little girl. She became a grown-up girl. Now she's married. Now as the body keeps growing and the age keeps changing. Now I think she's probably about 60, I think. Now she's about 75, I think. Now she must be 85 probably, isn't it? How the body changes. So this is not the real you. Then who are the real you? You are different from the body. Just like in material energy, you talk about energy can either be created or destroyed, energy disappearing in one form, reappears in another form without any loss again. In law of conservation of energy, you talk about it, right? In the same manner, the spiritual energy also, it is neither created. The soul is not created. The soul is not destroyed. It cannot be cut by scissors. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be moistened by water. And when the body dies, the soul comes out and it occupies another body. And this is a very important information because you are not the body, you are different from the body. So, what is the advantage in knowing that? Don't become overly disturbed by the outer challenges. Withdraw yourself inside, and now no harm happens to you. You are completely aloof. You are like a driver in the car. Car is getting a dent. You are not getting anything. You are all right. So, like, you got a poor academic marks, you don't have to commit suicide because academics is a small part of your life. Academics is not everything. There are so many students committing suicide foolishly. You have entertainment in life, you have hobbies in life, you have time with your parents in life, your time with friends in life, your time with God. There are so many other aspects of life. I really wonder when I see the students, just for the sake of academics, losing their life. So, and also, there is a short-term goal, there is a long-term goal. Like a child is playing in the seashore, making a sandcastle. But when it gets dark, mom will call back. Beta, come now, we have to go home. What does he do with the castle? He just dusts his hand off and goes off. Because that's not a permanent thing. That's one evening time he's spending with the seashore. But the relationship of the child with parents is long-lasting relation. Similarly, our relation with God is everlasting relation. And in this world we come, one life is a flash in the time span of the entire universe. It's just about 80, 100 years. And then we keep changing also from one form to another. Lord Krishna says that in the Gita, this knowledge is such an important knowledge. This has to be taught in the schools.
शाश्वत आत्मा हो जो ना जन्म लेती है ना मरती है, केवल शरीर बदलती है।
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कामारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि देहिनोऽस्मिन् यस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न
मुह्यति. So, when you come in association, you are given an opportunity to lift your mind away from the clutter of the external world. The whole world is filled with so much global gossip in social media. You can see yourself as aloof, and you are in a situation, but you are aloof from it. You get the wisdom, you get guidance, you get focus and peace. That is the ultimate goal of life, which is to love God and love all. That's called universal love. When that love is awakened, you have no enmity with anybody. Everybody is like your brother and sister in this world. And ultimately, there is one supreme, whatever name you call it Jehovah, Allah, Krishna, Rama, whatever name, but one supreme divinity. And that is underlying denominator of all. So you get a very broad perspective when you come to this association. Secondly, Bhagavad Gita, 1 page a day. Just 1 page. Take 5 minutes, 1 page a day. Third, this chanting. This chanting is very powerful. We have conducted a research in Florida State University. There's a PhD thesis about chanting. I'll just show you in 2 minutes. I'll show you that.
Throughout the Vedic, which can produce themselves are in literary form, profound message. Spiritual disciplines recommend meditational practices such as silent meditation, silent recitation of mantras, and also the verbal repetition of specific mantras out loud. A clinical test of the benefits of mantra chanting was performed on 3 groups of 62 subjects, males and females of average age 25. They chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 25 minutes each day under strict clinical supervision. Results showed that regular chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra reduces stress and depression and helps reduce bad habits and addictions. These results formed a PhD thesis at Florida State University.
You see, the chanting of the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna mantra, it helps reduce the stress and depression. And what is it? Bad habits and addictions, he said. So, know the right, do the right, discipline the right. For doing these 3 things, how do you know the right? By Bhagavad Gita, I was telling you. To know the right, you get knowledge. Then the willpower to do the right comes from the chanting. That's how students are able to give up their bad habits, addictions, stress, and all those things. It comes from the chanting. And discipline the right comes by associating with those who are leading a virtuous life. Good association, which I told you. So it's the same thing, ABC. So one very important point is about redefining excellence. Many students have an idea that excellence means perfection. It is not. See, it's mentioned here. Excellence means striving to be your best version consistently. That is excellence. You see? For example, Krishna also says the word yoga karmasu kaushalam. Excellence in action is yoga. I have explained it more clearly in the next slide. You see the difference between excellence and perfection. Excellence means confidence. Perfection is always based on doubt. Here you take risks. There you fear that you may not be perfect. Here you are powerful. There you are angry and frustrated. You see each of this. So, I have given the blue color for all of his students, you see. For an IIT, an excellence means not just solving a problem, but understanding the fundamental principle. Not just getting a job, but building a meaningful career. Not just having a degree, but being a person of character and capability, you see. Excellence is therefore a direct byproduct of consistently applying willpower. So excellence is a dynamic thing, whereas perfection is a static thing. This is perfection, you reached it, finished. Excellence means it's an ongoing thing. You keep growing. So it's not just you are first in the class. It's being better than you were yesterday. It's a continuous improvement. Because academically, some students get first rank. But how much they understood the subject is another question, isn't it? So, move from weak will to strong willpower. These are small steps, small daily commitments, distractions, be aware, routine habits, strengthen them, learn from failures without guilt. These are things I already told you. Yeah. See, I've given you, if you want, you can take a snapshot. You can try to follow this. These are things which are going to help in building willpower to a very great extent. Each of this, if you give a little time for this. Of course, I have given the next slide, concluding slide, I have given more practical steps than this. These are clues. You get a clue. And then these are simple things. If you just make a little attempt, it will make a very big difference. See, 5-point action I have given also. Be specific. So I've given one example of a student. I will excel in my data structures course by scoring an A, he says. And every day I will dedicate one solid, uninterrupted hour for this goal. Then he says, as soon as I complete, I will put a X or tick mark. And then he says that I will use the peak hours where I can give my best performance. In the morning hours, I will study. And every Sunday, I spend 20 minutes to review the past week, what worked and what didn't. So these are simple action steps. Why I didn't want to just leave you with the idea. Therefore, I gave a very real life example for you. So willpower is not about fighting the world. It's about mastering yourself. You don't have to fight with the world outside. You build your inner willpower. Excellence is not a destination. It's a daily decision. So, see, this is a verse I told you. Vyavasayatmika buddhir. You develop a strong determination if you have one-pointed determination. Like one thing at a time. Study while you study, sleep while you sleep, eat while you eat, play while you play, meditate while you meditate. You become like a Superman or Superwoman if you do that. Because you have no scattered thoughts. And your determination becomes strong and willpower gets greatly boosted. This is the focus of willpower, foundation of willpower. On the other hand, you see, Krishna says, if your mind is always running behind luxury or parties or showing off, your intelligence becomes weak and distracted. Because if we are in an impressing game, mind becomes very weak. But when you are free from such temptations, your focus and willpower naturally becomes strong. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam, he says. So these are many people weaken their willpower. Like this, the driver has no control. Like this.
Why does discipline equal freedom? Because the more discipline you have in your life, the more freedom you will end up with. So if you lack the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up being a slave to disease. If you lack the discipline to work hard, save your money, you will end up a slave to finances. If you lack the discipline to manage your time correctly, you will end up with no free time. If you have self-discipline, if you have the discipline to save your money and work hard and invest your money properly, if you have the discipline to manage your time correctly and not waste a bunch of time, if you have the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up with freedom. And I know it's a counterintuitive, it's contrarian, but I've seen this over and over and over again. If you want freedom in your life, you have to have discipline.
See, if you want to have freedom in your life, you have to have discipline, he says. You see these two roads. Initially, you are ready to take the trouble, exercise, reading, no fap and all that. The result is you get easy life later. But easy life early, then later life becomes very difficult for. Look at this one. I'll just. You understood, no? See, most students actually take an easy life in the beginning and they suffer later. But if you look at the picture, it becomes easy. There are many things which we enjoy in the beginning and later we suffer. But if you're ready to take, like I was giving the example, in summer vacation, if you're going to study the books for the next semester, and then when you go to the classroom and teacher teaches, it becomes very easy for you. At the end of the semester, it's so You will be jolly because you already studied 2-3 times. People who study last minute, we know how miserable they are. So success is the result of a discipline, hard work, and unshakable willpower. So this I told you, association of the saintly persons, Bhagavad Gita, chanting, develop good habits. That's it. Over. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. We can take some questions. If anyone has, they can please raise the hand before concluding the session. We have a mic. We can get the mic to anyone who has a question. Please raise your hand clearly.
Yeah. And if you wish to write to me, you can write to this. I'll be able to answer them in a week or so. I answer questions of many students across the globe. I can answer, but it'll take you a week or 10 days it'll take for you to get my answer, because I have too many mails in my box. But still, I like to try to reply. Yeah.
So, all right, we would like to thank Prabhuji for such an insightful session. We would like to thank by a huge round of applause, because now we are going to have, which is such nice visual presentation. Prabhuji took a great topic which has been, mystery for big leaders, and now Prabhuji has explained it to us. And now we should take a pledge that simple steps that Prabhuji said we will try to inculcate in our lives. So, I would like to thank Prabhuji. And
what is the simple step I said? ABC. Who remembers ABC? A. What I said? Association. Oh, you are devoting the front row, he's saying. I want to hear from the students. So I told you, association at least once a week, 1 hour you hear at least. And then B, what I said, anybody from behind? Bhagavad Gita, just 1 page a day. Bhagavad Gita as it is special, Prabhupada, 1 page a day you read. And C, chanting. So chanting is very easy. You just chant this mantra, sit in a park, take a deep breath, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If any of you belong to Christianity or Islam or Jain background or Sikh background, there are mantras they also chant. Like the Sikhs, they chant Vaheguru mantra. Jains, they chant Navakar mantra. Christians chant Hail Mary. Muslims chant Namaz. And Buddhists chant Namo Abhida Butsu. They also chant. Every dharma has got this chanting, because each dharma teaches you the same point, that if you sit down and you call the names of God and take shelter, you will be able to restrain your mind from flowing outwardly here and there. And you can get ekagratata, one-pointed concentration. So in case you have reservation for chanting this mantra, you can chant those mantras, whatever you are comfortable with. But if you chant this, this is a proven one in the Western world. In 1965, Swami Prabhupada, when he went in to the hippie land, he made all hippies into happies, by making them chant this. And then they gave up all their bad habits and they became one-pointed in their life, and they became very great personalities later. Yeah, so thank you for your rapt attention, and you didn't run away from the talk, you stayed through. And I also thank Director Sir for taking out time and coming. He was in the midst of a very busy meeting with 30, 40 leaders. But nevertheless, he took out time and came. Thank you, sir. I stay in Pune and Hyderabad, but I also travel to 15 cities in India, and I go to America 3 months in a year. And our local president is here. You can just come here, Prabhu. Yes, Nam Prem Prabhu. And Ma Suniti Mataji is here. Yeah, this is Suniti Mataji. Their husband, wife. They are, can come in the... They have a upcoming new temple here in Dhanbad, which is going to come in 2-3 years, it will come. So this couple is the one which is motivating and inspiring hundreds of students here in Dhanbad. I am here last few days. So I have been observing that in the last many years, they have successfully trained a few hundred students who have gone to different parts of the world. Every year they get one boy who is an all India topper in GATE examination or IIT JEE mains. So which means they also give equal amount of focus to academics also. They are uncompromising. Like academics and spirituality are like 2 lines in a railway line. So they don't compromise on their material duties also. So they are available here for you. They're locally available, and you can meet them. And we do have programs happening not far from here, just 10 minutes from here. You're all most welcome. And not only the students, I would even invite the professors also. All of you are most welcome, because you all are gurus of the students, and the students see you with great respect. And if you become a good example, ideal example, role model for them, you will do a very great service. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, we have one question.
Where is it? There's a hand up. Yeah, please. Is the mic working? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what to do when we have to take association of bad pupils for some reason, like for study purpose and for solving doubts and other purpose?
So you can be business-like. Huh? So taking association means what? You know, you don't open your heart, you don't become vulnerable to them, and don't seek their advice in personal matters or real life matters. Don't take any advice from them. Huh? But you can take only knowledge from them about the subject or about career or things like that. And you can also share with them some knowledge about some subject or career with them. It's not that you are selfishly taking. You can also give them if you know something. But when it comes to personal life, they can't dictate terms to you that, please come with me and smoke with me or drink with me, or watch some blue film. They can't do that to you. You can say that, sorry, I have some principles and I will not interfere with you and you don't interfere with me. In personal life, we will not bring it up, but let us only discuss about the subject. You can say like that.
But we go with them, our consciousness is degraded because they very much speak that words which we do not like.
What you should think in your mind, see, if a drunkard is speaking some bad words, will you take it seriously?
No.
You won't. Similarly, Krishna says in this world, all the jivas are afflicted by three gunas: Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. Somebody is in Rajaguna, Tamaguna, their words will be erratic. And that is bound to be, because they are good people. The soul is good, but the soul is covered by the mind, which is having some impurity. So that just like you look at this bulb, it's yellow, it's yellow color. If you put a blue color paper over this, it's going to give out blue light. If you put some black color, it will give out black light. So similarly, they are covered with some impurities. We should feel sympathy for them. This person is suffering from Rajaguna or Tamaguna. Let me give him some prasadam. Let me give him a Bhagavad Gita copy. Maybe someday he will get rid of these bad habits. Even we are all fortunate because we got this in our life. Somebody gave us. So let us try to make them also fortunate. We can think like that. And not associate with that side of their personality. Let them be what they are, and you discuss about the subject in case you have to. If you are a team, like I think BTP or something you're doing together, is it? BTech project.
Yes.
When you have to do BTP together with 2, 3, 4 of them, you have to adjust. Tomorrow when you work in a company also, you may have a team working with whom you may have to work with. They are also good. Actually, all souls are good. There is no problem with any soul, but souls are covered with mind which has some impurity. So they will behave erratically, and we have to expect that. We can't expect everybody to behave purely. But as I told you, Preeti Lakshanam in Sanskrit means you open your heart and confide to somebody. That should be a devotee. Because if you tell them your confidential things to them, they will laugh at you, and that will hurt you very badly. Therefore, we don't tell about our personal life to them. Is that all right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
But sometimes we also feel very anger when we listen to these words, and we also tend
But
to
if you become angry, then they will not help you in the subject. Is that all right?
Yes.
Is all right? But you want help, right?
Yes.
See, like imagine somebody is a crorepati. Sometimes somebody is a crorepati. Our devotees go and tell him, we have Janmashtami. If you would like to sponsor feast, for 1 lakh people, he's ready to sponsor. He says, take this 5 lakh rupees or take this 10 lakh rupees, he's ready to give. But sometimes he will criticize also. He will say, "Aap log aisa hai, he shouts sometimes. You hear like this and leave it like this. because you want to do some seva for the Lord. You say, okay, sir, whatever you said, we have noted down. We will rectify the faults in ISKCON. We will make ISKCON a better place in the coming future. Don't worry. And now we take the donation and cook prasadam and distribute. If we are, hey, you are criticizing us, and then you get wild on him, then he will say, no service, no donation, go back. And then we can't serve the people with prasad. Correct, no?
Yes.
So when a person shouts, that may be his bitter experience somewhere. We tell him that, yes, sir, we understand what you are talking about it. Maybe in some temple you went, you had some bad experience. And here you will get a good experience. Come to our temple. I will personally take care of you when you come. That's how we tell people. Because in ISKCON is a very big organization. We have like 1,200 centers now practically. He might have gone somewhere, he got a bitter experience, he may yell at us. He is not yelling at us. He is actually yelling about his own experience. So we don't need to take his verdict as solemn truth. We don't have to take it. We should feel sympathy for them. All right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So with that said, we would, anyone else has any question? Can we have one more question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to know how our prarabdha karma and past karmas are influencing in our life towards getting our success and through the willpower and all. If you can throw some light.
See, for example, if you worked for the month of September, October 1st you get the salary. Correct, no? Similarly, based on your Purva Janma karma, you have your face cut, you have your skin color, you have your mother and father chosen, who will be your parents and everything, where you will be born, and how much pleasure and how much pain, quantum of pleasure and pain, that is also fixed at the time of birth. But what is not fixed is, what will you do with your current life? That is not fixed. That is in your hands only. Like, say you are very wealthy now. What will you do with that money? That is not fixed.
Right.
Yeah, or you have a political position in society. What will you do in that position? That's not fixed. There is freedom. So let me give you an example. Say you have a cow tied to a pole, The cow is, say, 2-meter radius. Now in that 2-meter radius, the cow can go around, she can eat grass. She has that much free will. But she has restriction to go beyond the 2 meters. Correct, no? But if the cow behaves well, if anybody, even a child sometimes touches a gear guy, the cow is very mild-natured animal. So then the Malik will increase the radius to 4 meters instead of 2 meters. And tomorrow he may release the rope and allow the cow to roam around in the compound. Or even go outside and come back in the evening. That means the freedom of the cow is increased by good behavior. But if the cow is a dangerous cow, some cows actually go near, they do like this, they hit with their horn, then the 2-meter radius will be reduced to 1-meter radius. So our fate is increased by misuse, and our free will is increased by right use. So to know what is misuse, what is right use, if you want to know, the Shastras say there are 4 habits which are misuse, like illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, gambling. Illicit sex means sex before marriage or sex outside marriage, extramarital relationship, that is prohibited. Then similarly, fish, meat or eggs, that's prohibited. Unnecessarily, we should not kill our brothers and sisters, the poor creatures. We should eat, we should least pay injury we can do for others. We should not unnecessarily cause. The second one. Third one is intoxication, like smoking, drinking, drugs. One should not do that. And fourth is gambling, cheating, looting and all that. So these 4 are activities which if we do, then our restriction will be increased. Fate will be increased. And if you avoid this, you don't do these 4 things, and you are chanting the holy name, like ABC I was telling you, you do these things, then your free will is going to be increased more and more. There's a lot of freedom. Like Narada, if you see, he can fly anywhere he wants. He is given 100% freedom. So your prarabdha karma, unwanted sinful karma and all will be burned away. Krishna says that, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. So if you surrender to the pure lifestyle, I will burn away your past karmas, you have nothing to worry. Yes. Your life will get better and better and better. Is that all right?
All right, Guruji.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for answering all the questions. With that said, we would like to request Director Sir, by whose permission and grace, this gathering has been possible to come on stage, honor His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, and express 2 words of wisdom for all of us.
I'll take it. I had to shut down my mic.
Good evening, my dear students, faculty members, and other invited members in this gathering. We have learned a lot of lifestyle related issues today and how to mitigate and overcome those humanly problems. Since we have taken birth as a human being, those problems are inhabitable. However, as you are all JE students mainly, you have solved problem and cracked JE Advance. So when problems were given to you at the beginning, initially you were unable to solve them. Then you might have gone to your teachers, maybe to coaching center and many other places, and you learn how to solve a problem. Similarly, as you grow older and older, with the help of many other elderly people, you will be able to solve the problem which are not written explicitly in the manuscripts, in the books. And if you look to our Indian knowledge system, in the Guru Parampara, it is the flow of knowledge happens through verbal media. The writing thing came in a big way only when the discovery of paper, etc., came into picture. But the Indian knowledge system was available and was practiced also during our ancient days, which may link to undefined time, maybe 15,000 year or 20,000 year, even the BC, before the crash thing came, which the English people started following. Based on that, I am really happy and I must congratulate the organizer who has been able to make this a possible with a brilliant speaker who has the blend of both engineering as well as spirituality. And that's why he is the most befitting speaker in this gathering of all engineers. Thank you, sir, for agreeing to come over to IIT Dhanbad campus and deliver your spiritual and befitting lecture. Hare Krishna. Jai Hind.
Hare Krishna. So, I would like to thank all dignitaries as well as our chief guest for making this possible. So, now following this session, I would like to make some announcements. First of all, we ISKCON Dhanbad are organizing a special Gita course for engineers, for timings as per engineers, sessions as per engineers, given actually by very strong alumni of our NITs and IITs. So please mark the date.